Hello, Exiles! I know I've said in my last video that it was my final update for the Bodyswap of Sacrifice Chieftain build, but the build is just so fun to optimize. I added Headhunter, sold it then bought a Mage Blood, got +3 Cloak of Flames. I was just throwing currency at the build to min-max it, and I realized not everyone can follow this super high budget version of the build. So I dialed it way down and tried how cheap I can get the build to farm tier 16, fully juiced maps while still being tanky. This is what I've come up with. Here's the budget magic find version of the build for under 8 divines. PoE is in the description below. For those who are new to the build, we are using Bodyswap of Sacrifice. The skill lets you swap places with a minion and explodes the minion, dealing fire damage based on the minion's life. We scale this by stacking lots of minion life passives and gem levels. We use Raise Spectre as our minion skill, and the Spectre we use are the new Perfect Dark Marionettes, which revive after being killed. The Dark Marionette also has Scorch, so it synergizes with Bodyswap. So how can we achieve this 8 divine budget? For the equipment, everything is under 50 chaos aside from specific items. For the helm, I bought a Warlord-influenced base and used 1 Essence of Horror. This costed me 10C for the base and 22C for the essence. I got a Scepter with high fire damage and cast speed for 20C. Flammability on hit ring with dexterity to reach our dexterity requirements. This costs 20C. Cloak of Flame for 2C. A budget Venter's Gamble for 30C. For our amulet, we use Defiance of Destiny. I bought this for 50C. Get 1 with the highest gain missing life mod as you can. 19% physical to fire damage taken Dawnbreaker for our shield for 5C. Chaom's Binding for 5C. You can substitute this for Bisco's Leash if you want, but your defenses would take a hit. A +2 AoE or Aurasadema's Touch for 5C, and a +2 Minion Goldworm for 20C. You would probably need 100C to get the right colors. For our flasks, we use Taste of Hate. I bought this 13% physical to cold damage taken for 30C. The other flasks I rolled myself. Get the gain flask charges when hit mod. This may cost around 100C. The perfect Dark Marionette corpses for our Raise Spectre cost 50C each, and we need 3 of them. I didn't include most of the gems in the computation, since you can level them yourselves. The only thing I included is the level 21 Purity of Fire, which costs 100C, and the level 3 Empower, which costs 50C. We link Bodyswap of Sacrifice with Combustion, increased AoE, and Life Tap. We socket this in our helm. We socketed in our shield Vitality linked with Arrogance and Herald of Ash. Val Molten Shell linked with Cast when damage taken is placed in our weapon. Arctic Armor, Purity of Fire, and Determination on our +2 gloves. And lastly, our Raise Spectre is placed in the +2 boots and is linked with Minion Life Convocation and Empower. Moving over to the passives. The most important thing is the elegant Hubris Timeless Jewel. You need at least 2 nodes with Minion Life, 1 node for Endurance Charge Generation, and 1 node for Avoid Being Shocked. I got this one for 1 divine with a bonus node to Chaos Resistance. We need the Avoid Being Shocked because we're using a Storm Shroud, which applies the shock avoidance to all other elements. We get the last 20% from the Abyss Jewel. I bought the Storm Shroud and Abyss Jewel for 50C each. You may be thinking it's going to be hard looking for the same Timeless Jewel. You don't need one exactly like mine. I'm going to show you how I usually search for my Timeless Jewels. You can do this in PoE, but I like to do this in this website, link in the description below. Select Hubris from the drop-down and pick any Conqueror. Click Select Stats. Search for the stats you need and enter the minimum number of nodes for each stat. 2 for Minion Life, 1 for Endurance Charge Generation, and 1 for Avoid Being Shocked. Select the location where you'll put the jewel and click Deselect. Now select the notables that are closest to the build to save more points, which means we won't get this notable. Then click search. We got 14 jewels that match our requirements. You can click each one to see where the nodes are located. This jewel is great since we only need 3 points to get to 2 of the notable. 2 here and 3 here. We also can get Life Mastery and the Elemental Mastery. Click on Trade and it will direct you to the trade site. Open the filters and select the other conquerors since we don't care which one we use. One is selling for 99C and another is 2 divines. Let's try other jewels to see if they're cheaper. This one is for 1 divine. That's basically how I search for jewels. If you want to invest more in the build, you can try 3 minion life nodes. And that's not budget anymore. We also use a Watcher's Eye that gives us reduced extra damage taken from critical strikes. This costs around 150C. A That Which Was Taken jewel for 20C, which gives us life when you use a flask. And lastly, for the charms, we use 3 charms with plus 2 maximum fire resistance for 20C each. We're also using a medium cluster jewel with Fan the Flames that I bought for 30C. We need this to spread our ignites to make our clear faster. That's the build. Now let's go destroy a map. We're running an 8 Mod T16 burial chamber, not those weak T7 maps. Fully juiced with Abyss, Strongboxes, Delirium, and beyond. Hopefully we get lots of wisps here. We found our first event.
Keep learning.
Let's go back to the portal and go left now. Nice. Our second event. Let's try going north. And we found our third event.
I cannot do this.
This is a pretty good run. I'll go back to collect all the wisps on the side to make sure we make the most out of this run. Since we're very tanky, we can make the most out of Beyond by luring the mobs before starting the fireworks. I'll just get the awakened orbs, since I don't want to bore you with me looting everything. I don't think we can run reduced recovery on a budget, so I'll skip that for now. On a high budget, I just take every altar no problem. The build is now paid for. Nice Scarabs and a Divine. And another one. This showcase is going really well. And another one. The investment is almost paid for. So why play this build instead of other Magic Find builds? One is, it is very cheap to get going. As evident in this showcase, you can run fully juiced T16 maps on a budget. Fulcrum's price is almost double the whole budget of this build. Two is it has good single target. If a tanky rare survives, you can still kill it. And third, the build is very tanky. I leveled from 95 to 99 from mapping without dying using a higher budget version which I demonstrated in my last video. Let's pick up those Scarabs now. This is the gameplay loop of the build. Just lure everything and click once. Most of the enemies should die, if not all. Just click on your Infernal Cry if anything survives or when fighting a tanky rare. Before I go to the cons, I just remembered that I'm using a level 4 Empower. I'll remove this before you say I'm cheating. For the cons, it is not a fast build. There are other builds that can clear the maps faster like Tornado Shot, but their defenses are pretty bad. Another thing is that you need to be at melee range to damage. The skill swaps you to the Spectre and there's no way to control them where to go. Think I can run this? We can't die anyway. Let's put a portal down just in case. And that's what it looks like when you get too greedy with your altars on an 8 divine budget. The build is literally paid for with this one map, and even covered the cost of juicing the map. And we're dead again. Don't be greedy on your altars. That's the map run. I don't usually kill the boss if I have a lot of wisps, since I know it will take a long time, but let's try anyway for science. As expected, it's going to take a long time to kill the boss. Well, I'll do my outro now. Thank you all for watching. Remember to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and click that notification button if you want to see more non-meta builds like this. See you all on the next video. Happy New Year, everyone!